You can make as much as a nurse, as a CNA. You can. Oh, I've been a little bit sick. I'm in my car right now. I never film in my car. I think the first way, or like maybe the best way to make a lot of money as a CNA is to be a travel CNA. I think it's like the most fun and can be the most lucrative. Right now for like RNs, travel nursing isn't as lucrative and they're not making as much as they used to like during the pandemic. But for CNAs, they're still in need. I actually went online to look up like the rates that they have right now. Aquire Healthcare, Connect RN, Crucial Staffing, and Snap Nurse. So I looked on a few different websites, and Aquire Healthcare had rates from 1,500 to about 1,700 per week. Snap Nurse had rates from like 742 to like 1,200 per week. So there was that, and they'll pay for your stay and they'll pay for your stipend. I think that's just a really good option, especially to go somewhere else. Me, like, I don't like to sit still. So if you have the opportunity to do that, I say do it. You could be a private caregiver. I know some people do, like, you know, private caregiver, private duty, CNA. The one good thing about it is more personal. You know the patient that you're caring for. I looked up, it pays from about $17 to $23. I looked it up on Indeed, or it can also range from like $40 to $45. I looked that up on Indeed too. It's private, so you're going to this patient's or person's home that needs your help, and you can you care for them there, you offer your services. You can look up on Indeed private duty CNA. They can also say HHA, or like, you know, go on Google and like look it up, and you'll be able to work from somebody's house. It could be once a week. It can be consistent if you're able to do full-time. So that depends on you. I do think that there can be certain safety concerns if you're in somebody's house instead of a facility with security and you know, being able to swipe access into it to get in and out of it. But, you know, everybody's kind of different in what they really like. Some people work really well with private duty or home care, or even working for themselves. And what is it called? It's like being a contractor almost. Like, that works for a lot of people. So that's another thing you could do, start a business, but that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. Another option to make a lot of money as a CNA is to be an agency CNA. When I was applying and like looking into working for agency back when I was a CNA, I'm not a CNA anymore, I'm a nurse. But back when I was, they offered me $29 an hour, which was, you know, still really a lot. It was really good. The upside is that it's flexible, but the downside is that since you're working part-time, you won't get like the healthcare benefits that you would be getting if you were working full-time at a facility. Also, you're going to be the first to be floated if you're working as an agency or even a travel CNA somewhere else, because you're not, you know, a regular full-time on that floor. So you're going to be the first to be floated to another unit if they're, you know, if they're short. Another really good way to make a lot of money as a CNA is to like get more certifications, so that when you're applying to different jobs, you'll be able to negotiate your salary a lot better and, you know, start at a higher rate. So you could go and get a phlebotomy certification. You can go and get IV administration certification if that's allowed in your state. Oh, I'm sorry if the camera's bouncy, it's hard for me to hold. I moved the camera so that like it's not shaking. If you can get an IV administration certification, I think that's really good. If that's allowed in your state, you can get your BCLS, your ACLS. I don't think you need ACLS. When you're negotiating salary, you'll be able to, you know, have a lot of things that can back up why you need to be paid more. Another thing about like negotiation, what's gonna also help you make more money is experience. If you have more experience, you're going to be able to ask for a higher pay, but that is if you go to a different job. Switching jobs every few years, or every year, or every few months, every year, few months, depending on the person, but switching jobs at least like once a year, you'll be able to negotiate your salary with a different facility and ask for more. And I always say, like, don't stay too comfortable in the job that you're at, because you can get higher pay somewhere else, unless that's good for you, it's close to your house, close to your kids' school or something, you can definitely look for higher pay elsewhere. Another way to make a lot of money as a CNA is to go where the money is. If you have the ability to, say you don't have like a lot of like kids or really serious responsibilities where you are, you can go to another state that's paying more money for CNAs. New York, California, Alaska, Hawaii, like those are the states that pay the most for CNAs. So if you're able to, you can relocate to higher paying states. And one really big way to make a lot of money as a CNA, which is what I was doing, like you can make as much as a nurse as a CNA. You can. It's just like, let me tell you, during the time I was working, they were doing a lot of double pay and like bonuses for coming in, because we were losing a lot of nurses due to the pandemic, or you know, and they needed help. So they were giving a lot of like money for overtime and bonuses, and like, you know, before you apply, ask them, do you guys do double time? Do you guys pay bonuses? What does your overtime look like? What does your CNA to patient ratio look like? Ask these questions so you know that what you're getting into before you go to and work for that facility. You don't want to get burnt out. Like, is overtime, pick up overtime hours, and you have to play with the differentials. You're going to make more working afternoons and overnight shifts than you'll make, you know, on day shift. Day shift is going to pay you the regular starting rate, or if you're working evenings. And a lot of facilities, both of my old facilities, would add $2 extra on if you were working weekends. I would always, if I was going to pick up or do overtime, it was going to be on a weekend, on an evening, or an overnight shift, because that's $4 added on. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but over time it really does add up. For all those hours, it adds up. A lot of the times, like, well, in New York, or depending on where you live, CNAs are gonna make from $14 to like $17, $18. So there's different ways that you can make way more than that. A lot of this you guys can find on Indeed, you know, just typing it in and Googling it. But yeah, I hope this helped. I'm going to Target to get contact solution, and vitamin C and cough drops, because I have a sore throat and a fever. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good rest of your day.